It begins. 9 games left to seal Champions League qualification. It's make or break now. There can be no excuses. Somehow, throughout all our indifferent form these last few months, we still find ourselves in a strong position to secure a CL spot come the end of this season. And tomorrow we take on Tottenham at home against a rival that we've scored the most goals against in Premier League history, that we've got the most wins against in Premier League history. No matter how bad or indifferent any season has gone, one thing you know is that our games against Spurs are the massive reset for this team to make sure all wrongs are righted. Tomorrow, there can be no excuses. This is the important win of the season against Spurs because we need to kickstart some momentum now. We need to kickstart some run of form. We have 9 games left, and realistically, if we can win at least 4 games and draw at least 2 more games, on paper, that could be enough to get CL football. As you know, most of our rivals fighting it out for a top 4 spot or top 5 spot, correct me wrong, for this season, they will take points off each other. We're going to end the season playing very difficult games. Very difficult games. We must give ourselves the perfect platform to be ready for a tough end to the season. Hopefully this international break period, at least 2 weeks off, is the perfect reset for this team to get back to things now. The pressure's off you. You can find your form. You can relax a little bit. You can find your fitness too. Biggest positive we have is that we have close to a full strength team ahead to tackle this really hard end to the season. And we have to make sure that we can draw some inspiration from that amazing run of form we showed at the first half of this season. Now that most of those key guys are now back working under Maresca again, let's hope there's enough desire, enough quality, enough strength, and most importantly, enough bravery to be able to get Champions League football come the end of this season, because it really feels like unofficially it's make or break time now. Spurs have not beaten us in their last 6 games at home. The last defeat against Spurs came in that ill-fated 22-23 season where Antonio Conte was the manager then and they secured a 2-0 win against us. But in case you guys are unaware about the opposition we're playing against, Ange Postecoglou has never picked up a single point against us since he's become Spurs' manager. Their star guy in Son, who's racking up assists this season, has never recorded an assist against us ever, every time he's played against us. Spurs have picked up the least points in London derby games this season. And for the real kicker, yeah, we've won more Prem games, which is 36, and scored 120 Premier League goals against Spurs, more than we have against any other team, any other rival in this Premier League. I don't even care how arrogant I sound. I really mean this. There can be no excuses that we are not failing to beat Spurs at home tomorrow evening. If you guys feel the exact same way as me, hit that like button right now, my friends. If you're feeling confident that we are getting the W, the 3 points against our usual whipping boys, this is your time right now, man. In terms of team news, the only negative is Romeo Lavia unfortunately has another unknown setback. Now, Maresca revealed that a day ago there were some complications that occurred, and Lavia is set to be assessed in the next few hours today. So fingers crossed this won't be another annoying setback to keep him out even longer from the first team. But it's starting to feel like this season is set to be a write-off for Romeo. Get ready for next season at this point mentally. So I'm going to have some sympathy just like what I had for Reece James and others. I don't think it's time to sell Lavia just yet. But food for thought, you guys. Food for thought. Food for thought. With the level of competition we're set to have in midfield for next season, with Asugo and Santos returning, is there a crazy possibility that you even consider loaning out Lavia for next season to build fitness? Let us know in that comment section now. In today's press conference, Enzo Maresca seemed to be in pretty good spirits, knowing that he has his attacking trio returning back for Spurs. Nico is back, Noni is back, and Cole Palmer is back too. Maresca has said before that when you miss out on players of these capabilities, of course, you're going to struggle for different reasons. During those unreal 5 to 6 months we had, we could see what we were really about. But since then, we've had 6 to 7 injuries in a row, and that's definitely impacted what we do as a team offensively. As he said many times, I want my team to be direct and quick when we press high, but we cannot be direct and quick when the opposition sit back. In our last games versus your West Hams and Wolves and Southamptons, they had 11 men behind the ball. And I think what Maresca is basically saying is that the opposition also play their part in the dynamics of how a match plays out. If they're going to be disciplined and keep guys behind the ball, it restricts spaces. I respect that. I understand that. It still brings up question marks though, because we must be able to find a proper, strong game plan against this opposition if we have any hopes in the future of winning the Premier League. Because you will play against this team for 40 to 60% of your season. And we've shown an inability to be able to break this type of team down. I would say, to add on to that though, I've been a bit disappointed by maybe the lack of bravery in terms of really pushing men forward. It seems like we're too content in staying in our positions. We're lucky that we played against relegation teams consecutively to pick up easy points. But against a stronger team, as we saw against Arsenal, there was no bite, man. There was nothing to really scare them. There was nothing to really cause any danger. And that can be the issues when you don't have the right capabilities to break down teams that are organized defensively. However, Maresca did say that you can attack quick when the opposition decides to press high. You can attack quick for sure. And all I'm thinking to myself is watch out Spurs. Because we know that with Ange Postecoglou, he is a manager that will refuse to adapt to the conditions of his team. We know that they can be incredibly open transitionally. We saw that when we gave these guys a 2-0 lead for fun in that big 4-3 win in their own stadium. So at home tomorrow, I feel like there's going to be the spaces there to really take advantage of Spurs. And knowing that we have our attacking guys back, the guys have the dynamism, we have the pace, the 1v1 threat. I've always thought Nico, Palmer and Noni together are quite a good unit. Again, I'm feeling optimistic about our chances against Spurs tomorrow night. Now, the question on all our minds, after learning that the first team lost to an under-21 team that fielded under-18 players, we learned that Maresca even cancelled the supposed day off in anticipation for this game because he was not happy, he was not impressed. Naturally, he was going to be asked about what went on in this final week of training. And Maresca said he wasn't happy, but it's nothing. In typical Maresca fashion, he's looking to take pressure away from the team. He understands that every single game is of ridiculous importance. And he went on to say that, listen, the attitude and behavior has always been good with these guys, always been good, even in the last 3 to 4 days. But it just feels like this is kind of cap and like the typical contradictions you get from Maresca. You know, at this point, I don't really feel like we'll see Maresca really giving his strongest, honest opinions until he's lasted at least 1 year at this football club. He's not going to do anything to rock the boat when he's not in a position to have much power yet. So I think this is why we're going to get these type of answers in the press conferences where they're kind of non-answers. They're very deflective, very deflective. But maybe in the long term, is this the right strategy to have? Maresca was asked about the importance of Enzo Fernandez, a player that has been very strong this season, by far his best season in English football. And obviously after getting a goal and an assist against Brazil, let's keep it real. It feels like Enzo looks like 5 times better when he's playing for Argentina compared to us, even though he's still been very good and very consistent. I would love him to translate his international form with us. But anyway, Maresca revealed that, Enzo has improved a lot this season. His game understanding in particular has really got a lot better. He struggled at first, but now he is doing the right things, hence why he finds himself in the right scoring positions and the right positions to assist. And I think that is more than fair, without a doubt, especially when it comes to Enzo finding his finishing boots. Now I think he can really push on with that and adds even more goals as hopefully he plays for us over the years. And to be honest with you guys, they were the main interesting things from the press conference. It wasn't that much exciting stuff, to be fair. So I think this is the time to end that so we can really think about this lineup for tomorrow. And I think for me, the lineup is pretty simple at this point. I'm going for a lineup that will consist of Nico up front, Noni on the right, Sancho on the left-hand side, Palmer in the middle, a midfield of Moises and Enzo Fernandez, and obviously Cucurella, Colwill, Fofana, Reece James, and Robert Sanchez. Now, Sanchez, listen, I think it's a waste of our time and energy to complain about why he's still between the sticks. I mean, until next season comes, we have to accept Maresca will just keep him. I think that's the end of that discussion. Defence, though, after seeing Reece James cook for England under Tuchel, a lot of us are kind of not sad, but we miss seeing Reece James showing his box-to-box qualities, right? It feels like Maresca maybe has really put the leash on Reece James. He doesn't want him to over-exert himself. He wants him to manage his fitness. Maybe we have to accept there'll be more responsibility around Reece James being used this season. Fair enough. But I was really hoping that if you have Cucurella and Reece James, by this time of the season, we could have either one inverting when we need to, and them kind of playing the same way. Because when Cucurella inverts, he's still allowed to get in the box. He's still allowed to overlap and underlap. And he has the whole left-hand side to operate in. But when Reece James inverts, he's told to stay alongside Caicedo to form a pivot. And I think Tuchel said it right. I don't think Reece James, when the game is more end-to-end, is that guy you want to have in front of your defence. But when it is end-to-end and he's out wide, where he can also tuck inside when he has to, this is when he really dominates that side. And I would love to see Reece kind of having the license to also combine with Noni and with Cole Palmer. I feel like that could really elevate what we do, especially against a Spurs team that is there for the taking out wide, in my opinion. So it'll be interesting to see what's done, but I'd imagine that it will be Reece James moving inside, allowing Enzo Fernandez to push higher up alongside Cole Palmer. And then our box threat will mainly consist of Enzo, Palmer, and Nico Jackson. Defense of Fofana and Colwill at least allows us to hopefully play man v man and push our lines a bit higher. Against Spurs, there will be spaces to exploit in behind. We need to be aggressive. We need to play on the front foot. And I think our defense has to reflect the mentality we play with. They can't be too deep. They can't be too far away from the midfield. They have to be compact and in good positions with the rest of their team. So let's see what happens there. Midfield speaks for itself. Enzo and Caicedo. Lavia's not about, annoyingly, yet again. I think Caicedo will be there, ready to just break up any Spurs counterattacks. Enzo Fernandez comes back in really good form after really impressing for Argentina during international duties. Really been impressed by him. I'm hoping I see a bit of that Argentina Enzo on the team tomorrow, man. I would love him to get on the score sheet again like he did against Spurs in that 4-3 win with that excellent goal outside his boot. That's the Enzo Fernandez that's been impressing us all this season, right? And up front, this is where they need to make the impact right now. I think Cole Palmer is going to be so happy that his partner in crime and Nico Jackson is going to be there. You know, and Nico Jackson, Cole Palmer has a foil. You know, Nico would create space for Palmer to just ghost into completely unmarked. Nico was a great outlet for balls in behind for Cole Palmer. Nico and Palmer have a great relationship. You know, how many back heels and flicks have we seen between them? How many assists has Palmer made for Nico and vice versa? They are our main two attacking outlets, and the synergy has been lacking in games where Nico hasn't been about. So, you know, you'd love to see Palmer and Nico get on that score sheet tomorrow, especially Nico Jackson, where the most goals he scored against any Prem team has been against Spurs. So, Nico, you know what? Remind the fans what we've been missing out on. You know, you've been out for a while, but just like last season when he was away with Senegal, I felt like Nico came back in clearer spirits, clearer minds. The pressure was away from him. And hopefully it'll be a similar situation this season. Now that he's been out injured a bit, I hope he comes back hungry, ready to go, and ready to really spearhead our attack, because there's actually a lot of pressure on the Nico Jackson. If he can get on a run of goals before the season ends, you know, he could really safeguard himself for next season. So let's see what happens there. And obviously on the wings, our best winger this season, I've been saying this throughout, and I'm going to keep saying it, Romeo Lavia is back. You know, hopefully he's allowed more license to run inside. You know, I don't like when I see these wingers just penned out wide too often, 2v1 against them. Now, against Spurs, with that transitional game that's going to happen and the spaces in behind, I think Nolly can cook in this game, so watch out for him. My friends, that is my predictor lineup, but what are you lot thinking? Could we see some surprises? Are there other players you think should be used like Pedro Neto? Even Nkunku? Let us know below. And to end things with my prediction, I'm keeping it simple, man. There's nothing else to say. 2-1 win. I feel like we'll probably make a mistake because I don't think we're that team just yet. But there's the firepower to definitely get the win. And no excuses. 2-1 win. I think Palmer, Nico Jackson, let's go. So that is everything from the preview today. Get involved in the conversation. Leave your predictions below, my friends. What scoreline do you see tomorrow? Let us know. Don't forget to catch today's news videos, and I will catch you all tomorrow for a massive day of football. See you all then. Cool.